when I think about motivation, what I think about is mental wellness. Write that down, mental wellness. We got to get to a point in life where we just don't focus on physical strength. Like we all in the gym, you know, we vegan, some of us, you know, we eat right? We take care of our physical bodies, but we don't take care of the mind. And when the mind is messed up, everything is messed up. Like when the mind is destroyed, everything is destroyed. So number one, I wanted to tell the young players that we got to take our mental and emotional fortitude, we got to take that serious. I'm going to be real. You know, probably just recently, I realized I was mentally ill. Like, E, what you saying? Like, yo, flat out, my mother was 17. My father wasn't in my life. I lived on the streets of Detroit for 2.5 years. I lived in abandoned buildings. I ate out of trash cans. Like, that was trauma. And my whole life, I was taught, like, yo, you a man, be strong. Like, you a man, you don't cry. Like, you a man, be tough, right? And I personify that. Like flat out, like my videos, I ain't telling nobody, you get to whine, you get to give up, you get to cry. I ain't on that. But I realized in my own personal life, like, yo, E, you've been traumatized, bruh. You came into this life with a 17-year-old. You came into this life without your father. Like you came into this life without some of the skills that my son and my daughter got because my wife and I have been married 5 years before we had kids. So number one, when I think about motivation, I think about like, yo, you gotta be mentally strong. And what does that mean? It means that in Miles' case, instead of looking at dark times and looking at what you don't have, that's a mental illness. A mental illness is, even when you got it good, you find a way to see the bad in what you have. A mental illness is, even though the Lord has blessed you, you don't see what the blessings are. A mental illness is, you don't have the ability to count on one hand all your blessings. And when you're still in the funk, you go to the second hand and you count. And so I started to become mentally strong, and I was able to look at, you know what, homeless ain't the worst thing that ever happened to you. Like you could be dead, right? So what do you need to do? You need to start going to church. When I started going to church, I started saying, oh man, wow, I see they going to college. All right, yep, I'm gonna get my GED and go to college. I started looking at, yo, the GED ain't the worst thing in the world because the GED opened up the 4-year degree. And yep, it took you 12 years, but you finished. Now you can go get the master's degree. Yep, now you can turn the master's degree into a PhD. And so all of a sudden, I was homeless because I was thinking about I didn't have my father. My mother was young. I grew up in a certain neighborhood. I didn't have certain advantages that everybody else had. So number one, and I want to stay on this one because, like I said, this kid never cried. He never complained. And so one of the things we want to do with our young players is like really help them to understand that while you got to go out there and put the points up, at the same time, you got to make sure mentally you're strong. Because a lot of stuff is going to happen in life, and you got to make sure when you get hit, you have the ability to get back up. Real quick, I want to make sure, when I say motivation, I'm actually talking about mental health.
I was the weakest person in the world, I thought, in my mind. And the most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. So when you think that, it becomes truth. I do believe now there's not many people on the planet who can do what I do. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for fame. I don't do it for a professional sport. I don't do it for a trophy. I don't know many people who get up and get after it like I do on a daily basis for absolutely nothing. No one sees me. No one knows me. No one knows half the crap I do on a daily basis. And I don't know of anybody who would do it for nothing, just for pure fact of I'm trying to get harder and tougher mentally and physically every day of my life. It's how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to be battered. I'm supposed to be bruised. I'm supposed to be beaten. This is how it's supposed to look, man. This is how, and then my mindset started slowly changing to, it's supposed to look like a flower garden, a rose garden, to, nah, man. It's supposed to look like a sewer. It's supposed to be hard, man. It's supposed to be grimy. It's supposed to be gritty. It's supposed to be horrible. It's supposed to be really ugly. And the more my mind changed, the more I thought to myself, no, I'm supposed to fail.